Kilmar Agrego Garcia is back in the United States. The Maryland man, the Maryland father, the father of the year. Somebody said the father of the year, didn't they? Something like that.
Oh my gosh, I think so.
The Maryland man, the Maryland father, the father. Look how loving he is. He's back. He's no longer at CCOT. And he wasn't anyway. They moved him to a different prison when Van Hollen went down there. They moved him out of that CCOT prison. But during the break, Polo asked a good question. Well, what does this mean? I thought Bukele said you couldn't release the guy. You couldn't let him go in El Salvador. You couldn't let him go to the United States. When the president of El Salvador was here, he literally said, I can't smuggle him back into the United States, and I'm not going to let him go in my country because he's a dangerous criminal. So we all figured, okay, he's never coming back to the United States. But now he's back here. Why is that? Well, it turns out during all of that time, the Department of Justice, Pam Bondi, the AG, they were bringing charges against Abgrego Garcia via a grand jury. The grand jury brought him up on several charges. Heinous crimes are alleged. So they brought him back. And again, it's a great question. Well, how is he back if Bukele said he couldn't be back? Here's the way it works. When somebody who is from a country is in that country's government has purview over him. Bukele, probably at the United States request, said, I'm not going to release him. I don't want him in my country. I'm not going to smuggle him back into the United States. He is where he belongs. He's a criminal. He's behind bars in El Salvador. Well, now what's happened, because the DOJ did this criminal grand jury, he faces so many charges, the Trump administration asked Bukele, hey, can we have him back? We've got all these charges against him. And Bukele said, yes, I'll give him back to you. So is he lying when he was in the Oval Office? No. He was doing what was righteous. He's the president. He gets to decide if one of his citizens gets to stay there. By the way, he could have just told Pam Bondi and President Trump, he could have said, I'm not sending him back. He had every right to do that. The reason why he's back and the reason why we facilitated the return was because Bukele said, yes, I will do that for you. He agreed to the favor. I hope that explains it. Come on.